Howdy, 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 everyone. Tad Stevens on the Micro Success Secrets podcast, where we focus on business, psychology, and marketing, and how you can use that or those in your business daily and long term. Today, I'm talking with Lincoln Kokaram. Lincoln, how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Tad. Good to be with you this morning.
Great to have you here. If you would, please introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about how you got to where you are.
Okay. It's a long story, but I'll try to give you the pretty version. Is that all right? Yeah, well, I was born in the tiny little island of Trinidad and Tobago, way back in 1949. And my early career was my first real job as a school teacher. And you know, Ted, I never wanted to be a school teacher. That was not, on career day, I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. But as the Lord will have it, I was kind of led into that profession, and I found that I loved it. Oh my God, it was so rewarding and engaging with the kids. I'll never forget the day I was leaving to go off to college, because I started as an assistant teacher. I was 22 years old, and a 14-year-old young girl came to my car and said, "Bye-bye, Daddy." Tad, I will never forget that as long as I live, and no money can compensate me for that feeling. But again, I joined the JC's International at a young age, and it was like a second job for me. And I mention that because most of who I am today, what I've learned, I learned from that organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I learned from that organization, and I got opportunity to practice what I learned. That's one of the keys. And I grew in the organization. I held almost every office at the local level, the state level, the national level. And then in 1984, I was vice president of Junior Chamber International. And you want to hear what my territory was?
Sure.
You're going to be so envious. My territory was the Bahamas, Bermuda, the Netherlands Antilles, and Suriname, and Belize.
Yeah. That would have been okay. I would have been fine with that.
Yeah, and my role was to visit and motivate the leaders and the membership and do interviews with the media and all to promote the organization in those parts of the world. And in 1984, I started, in the middle of the year, started campaigning for executive vice president. And then I get this phone call from the world headquarters, which was at the time was in Coral Gables, Florida. And the Secretary General at the time, his name was Richard. He knew me well. And this is how the conversation went. He said, "Hey, Lincoln, how's it going?" I said, "It's going great, Richard. How are you?" And he said, we know that you're running for executive vice president. And we know that if you run, you're going to win. Everybody loves you. You've done a great job for us. And it's almost like a shoe-in for you. But we need a director of training and development at the world headquarters in Coral Gables, Florida. And we would like for you to be that person. I said, "What? Todd, I never had a dream or that goal in my mind to leave paradise, Trinidad and Tobago, and come to the big United States to work at the world headquarters. That was never a goal. I was doing so well in Trinidad. I was in the insurance business. I was making more money than I really needed. I had more clients. I had a good relationship with my people. But I had just gotten divorced. So I told Richard, "Let me pray about this. This is a big decision. Let me pray about this, and I'll get back to you." So I prayed about it. And I got a sense that the Lord was telling me, "You need a break. Go." I walked away from everything that I had built in that island. I'm not focused on material wealth. and material things. I don't cling to those things.
Mm-hmm.
I walked away. And on March 7, 1985, I landed in Miami International Airport with 2 suitcases in my hand. First time in my life I'm living all alone. Don't know anybody. But that was a defining moment for me, in that it's like your whole world opened up. You know, you're coming from a little island of 1.2 million people, 25 miles north, south, 50 miles east, and now you live in the United States of America. And they sent me to 37 countries all over the world. I've been to countries like Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, places that I never even knew existed before, you know, to speak to the members, to encourage them, to train them. I organized the training program in Cartagena, Colombia, nice place to go to, you know, and then in Nagoya, Japan, and the last one I did was Amsterdam, in the Netherlands.
Netherlands, right.
Yeah, so it was it was like getting a PhD in international relations, but you're not going in a classroom. You're immersed in the culture. What a learning experience. I was able to write quite a few, develop manuals for the people. And again, that's how I came here. I like to tell people I was imported into the United States.
Well, you know, that's interesting, because that kind of covers some of the material that I wanted to cover here. I mean, you've already jumped into it. Is there anything that you would change about that? I mean, like, looking back over it, is there a decision or other that you thought, oh, you know, if I'd done that?
You know, Tad, that's a good question, but I've found if you dwell in the past is gone. The past is gone. You can't do anything about the past. You can do
I like to say,
a lot.
I like to say the past is just a thought.
It's a thought. It's gone. You know, I can't do anything about that. You know, regret. You know, I love that song. I think it was Kenny Rogers who sang "Regrets." Or no, our good Frank Sinatra. Regrets. I've had a few of this. I'm sitting.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You know, buddy. So why dwell on regrets? If I coulda, woulda, shoulda. Live in the moment. And that's what I've learned. Make the most of the moment. Because once the moment is gone, you're not going to get it back. Make the most of the moment. Too many people, Todd, they crucified today between two thieves, yesterday and tomorrow. Because they dwell on the mistakes what they made, and they think, well, I can't do this. I know they want, if I do this, how it will impact tomorrow. No, live in the now. So that's a good question to ask. But in all honesty, I wouldn't change anything, because when I look back at the big, important blessings that I received, I did not plan it.
Well, see but that's a great answer. I mean, there doesn't have to be a thing. In fact, there's a TV show I was watching a couple of weeks ago. Books where I've read that, you know, what you experience in the past, even though you can't change it, it's what defined you. It's how you got to where you are. And if you change anything, you wouldn't be here, you know. And
amen, brother.
If you're moving forward and you're living your life to the fullest, then that's great. You shouldn't change anything, or, I wouldn't change it.
You're right. Shakespeare said it, sweet are the uses of adversity, but you got to look for the sweetness.
That sounds like Shakespeare.
You know, if you focus on the adversity, you're not going to see the silver lining. For example, look what's going on in the world today. This COVID-19 situation. People are, locked down in their homes. Look at what you and me are doing here. I'm in Grayson, Georgia. Where are you located, Ted?
We're in Evergreen, Colorado.
In Colorado, and we are talking, having a conversation with each other, making face-to-face, interaction with one another. We didn't even have to get on an airplane,
Mm-hmm.
So make the best of the situation.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. I mean, that is one of my favorite pieces of advice, and what I tell my kids and
Yeah.
just all kinds of people.
We find what we look for. Yeah.
No, I was going to say that leads into actually my next question, which, you talked about focusing on adversity. A lot of people get stuck doing that. They see, what they think are big things, or they may actually be big things in front of them. Or it's things that they put in front of them, like writer's block. Like that is one of my things that I deal with almost on a daily basis with the content that I create. It's just simple writer's block. And I come up with mechanisms to help me get by that. But in the bigger picture, when you get stuck on a decision, or if you get stuck, or when you advise people, how do you move past being stuck? Or how do you advise people if they get stuck in a life decision, in a business decision, really anything like that? What are some of the tips and techniques that you would advise?
My first response is to set it aside. Step away, and leave it alone for a little while. It's amazing how because you're so engaged in this, you can't see, so you leave it aside, and it's amazing when you set it aside and you do something else, like go play golf, do something totally different, and then come back later. It's amazing what happens. The other recommendation I would give is, do you have a mentor? I believe a mentor, somebody who you choose to be your mentor, is one of the most valuable assets any human being at any age could have, a mentor. And then, what's your faith? What do you believe? If you believe in a God Almighty who is in control of everything, and you believe that all things happen for the good of those who believe in him, then you're never going to get stuck. Maybe where you get stuck, maybe that's not for you. Maybe you should not be doing that. Maybe you need to find something different, something better for you. That you have a joy in doing. Life is too short to work. Like I tell people, stop working, start performing. Stop working, start performing.
That is great. And to go back to your first thing, do something different, because we talk about psychology, and I can't remember the name of the title of it, but as human beings, when we focus on something, it has a disproportionate amount of importance to us, meaning it's more important than it actually is. So if we're thinking about it and we get stuck, it just grows and grows and grows to where it's huge when it's probably not really, or the decision is not. So the walking away, I love the other two as well, but the walking away has triggered that memory of that, because it's what I teach people when I talk to them or when we're just chatting, is that, it's bigger than it really is if you're thinking about it. Yeah, and if you don't realize that, it becomes, but anyway, no, that's great advice.
A simple example, Tad.
Okay.
I like to play word games on my phone because they keep my brain active.
I do. I'm not going to say it, but I do similar. So yeah, please go ahead.
And sometimes I'm stuck. It's a 4-letter word and I can't find the 4-letter word. And you know what? I leave it alone and I come back 10 minutes later and voila.
It's there. Yeah, it just presents itself.
Yeah. So leave it alone. You don't have to do it now. If it's important enough, it can wait. It can wait. The moment we start to set deadlines on ourselves, then we settle for okay, or we settle for good enough. We don't set too tight deadlines. We want to do our best. We want to do our best all the time. So let it settle for a little while and come back later. Ask for an extension of the, it's better to ask for an extension of the deadline than to present a half-baked chicken to your family for dinner.
I like the chicken analogy. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. I think you've already answered it, but I want to ask it anyway, because when we were talking about, or in the beginning, about the decision that you made or the decisions that you have made.
Yeah.
If you had to start over, what would you do? And I'm focusing for right here. I mean, focusing mainly on business or on how you would generate income for yourself, your family, get your needs met. What would there be anything different that you would do, or if would you start different than you did?
Well, one thing I know, I would save more money. I would put aside.
Now that is an excellent. I haven't heard that one, but that is outstanding.
I would set aside a percentage of my income and put it in a savings account or an investment plan and just leave it there and pretend it does not exist.
Yeah.
And resist the temptations to, I've had a lot of good, but the kid come to, hey, Dad, I need a car,
Yeah, yes, I know that one.
Oh my goodness. And, there's a difference between supporting and enabling.
Yeah, and I know that one too.
Like when I was in sales management and one of my reps come to me and they're whining and griping and they're complaining, my first question back to them is, what are some solutions you have thought about? Well,
I love it.
Well, I haven't thought about anything. Okay, my boy, my friend, go back. Think about a solution, then come back to me with a recommendation. Because if you come to me only complaining and whining, that's what you're doing. You're only complaining and whining, you're just making the situation worse. Now, I want you to engage your mind in thinking about a positive solution and come to me with at least one solution, then you and I will talk about it and we'll come up with the best solution. And that was my mantra. And after a time, they knew it.
They wouldn't go, yeah, no, they didn't come to you unless they had at least one or two. Yeah.
Yeah. It was our unwritten law. It was the culture that I developed on my teams. And guess what, Tad? We were operating at 137% a quarter.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
With that kind of approach, I absolutely don't doubt that.
Because, we need to enable people, empower them, equip them, self-discovery. Too many leaders and coaches, they're trying to pour into people, instead of getting out of what is already in there. Everybody is different.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Difference between leadership.
A simple thing like recognizing your people. Like in sales, most time they recognize the top salesperson, sales guy of the month, salesperson of the month. And he gets the biggest reward, or she. And then after a time, it's the same person.
Over and over again.
So let's say you got a team of 10 people, Tad, and the other 9 people are, oh, Stella is going to win again, so why should I bother even trying? So I had a strategy. I had a budget for recognition. I split the budget in half. I gave my top performer half of the budget. Let's say I had $500. My top performer will get $250. Then the other people I will recognize them based on their improvement in performance. I would say, if you increase your production by 10% or more, you get a $25 gift card. Now, everybody has incentive to increase and to improve. So, and that's why we were such a successful team, because everybody is trying to get better at what they do. Too many people are settling for okay and enough, and that's why our world is in the mess it is in today.
Excellent advice. Excellent. That is outstanding, Lincoln. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate your taking time today to chat, and really appreciate everyone listening. Is there anything that you want to wrap up with? Any parting advice, any offers, any service that you provide that might be helpful to a listener?
Well, the first thing I like to recommend is that you get a copy of my book, With Passion. You get a copy of my book, With Passion. It's a simple book, you know, and you can get it if you want to. It's on Barnes and Noble, and it's 7 chapters. P for pride. Take pride in what you do. A is attitude. Your attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards you. S is special. Know that you're special, because only when you know you're special, then you can go make other people feel special. You make people feel special, they're going to do business with you, they're going to come back, you're going to get a lot of repeat business, make them feel special. And then the S is service. Everything we do is a service to our fellow man. The I is initiative. Don't wait to be told. You see something that needs to be done, do it. And do it with integrity. And the O is ownership. Tad, this is our time. This is our world. The politicians are not doing a good job. We need to step up. We need to take ownership. My community, my home, this is our time, our world. And then the N is never give up. Never give up, follow through. Never give up.
I like the last one. I mean, I like all of them, but I love the last one.
Never. So get a copy of that book. Get a copy, and if you wanted to have some time with me, book some time on my website. The first hour is of no charge to you. I do social and emotional intelligence profile. I'm getting a lot of interest in the social and emotional intelligence profile, because look at what's happening in our world today. Emotions are running wild, out of control. Yeah. When our emotions are out of control, we do stupid things. We do regret.
Yes, I laugh. It's not funny, but
but Tad, I believe 90 to 95% of the people who leave their home to go and protest, they did not leave with the intention to go and riot. They get there, and they get caught up in the emotion. I know there are the 2 or 3% of people who leave with the intention to riot. The rest of them get caught up, and then they end up doing stupid things. It's like doing the wave at the football game. One person started, and then
eventually
everybody
you stand up. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I like to end my life. Charles Swindoll said, life is made up of 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to what's happening to us. And I want everybody to know, who know me, who heard me speak anywhere, that you are the star in the movie of your life. Make every day an Oscar-winning performance. Thank you.
That's great. That is awesome. I love that. I'm going to put that up. But we'll put links to your site and your book and everything on the podcast page and on any page we posted it on. But thanks again, and thanks to everybody who's listening. Have a safe and productive week, and be the very, very best you can be at whatever you are. Until next time, this is Tad Stevens with Micro Success Secrets. Bye for now.